Hi everyone, this is Maya. Today is day 10 of Novel Prep Month. I hope yesterday went really well. You got a lot of preparations done and you learned a lot about your characters. We're going to work a little bit more on characters today, and then tomorrow we're going to dig back into that summary and start expanding it and really using what we've learned about your characters to really find your story. But before we get started, let me get some business out of the way. First, I'm not a published author yet. It will happen. It's just a matter of time. And I'm not a writing teacher. What I am is someone who has spent many, many years trying to complete a novel and failed National Novel Writing Month multiple times. Eventually, I learned enough lessons that I was able to complete National Novel Writing Month, and it really changed my life. So, what I'm doing, what I'm hoping to do, is to take you from initial idea all the way to being really prepared and confident going into November. If you're just coming to these videos now, look in the down bar for the first video in the series. If you've been also following the blog, you'll notice that I've been really bad about posting these videos to the blog for the last 3 days. I'm going to get them up and resume the blogging. I told myself that I was going to do 30 days of videos this month and that I was going to do 30 blog posts. And I'm really proud of the fact that we've managed to stay with the videos. And I did miss getting the videos posted to the blog for 3 days. So I'm going to get all those videos caught up this evening, and it'll make it easier to keep them archived for the future. So let's get started. Yesterday, what did we do? You found names for your characters. You thought about their goals, what they want, and what is standing in their way, and you thought about what changes for them throughout the course of the story. What is it that they learn? What changes? What devolves? In what way are they a different person at the end of the novel than they were at the beginning of the novel? So let's expand that a little more. You've thought about your goal, the character's goals, what they want, and what is standing in their way. And usually when you think of that, those are more concrete goals. Those are things like I want to be rich, or I want the man, or I want to kill somebody. There's so many goals, and usually when we talk about goals, we're talking about really concrete things like that. So now I want you to stand back a little bit and think a little more holistically about your character. And what is their more nuanced motivation? What is their more internal motivation? So most people have both motivations, goals, aspirations that are very physical, that are things that they can get, but then you're going to have like some really deep dreams, like you want to be loved, or you don't want to be alone, or um, you want to live with pride, you want to die of old age, those types of real motivations um, that drive people. So if you have someone who has an internal motivation of they don't want to be alone, and they're in a bad relationship, and they may not leave that relationship because they have this internal motivation that they really don't want to be alone. And that's a very different motivation from I want him to be better, or I want to get more money so that, whatever, boyfriend's less angry or whatever. But having those really powerful emotional motivators um, will make your character feel more alive. So what I like to do actually is I create two sets of goals and motivations. And I find it's easier for me to think about it this way. The way that Randy Igmanson talks about it in the Snowflake Method, I appreciate the way he approached it. But I find that I like to put a little bit more weight on the internal motivations too. So what I like to look at is external motivations and internal motivations. So someone externally, they want the new job. Internally, they want to make their mother proud. So someone in like a romance novel, um, externally they want the man. Internally, they want to be loved. So think about the internal motivations that are behind the external goals and actions that your character ends up having. Really, what is it that makes your character tick in the physical world, and then what is it that emotionally makes them tick? And when you figure out that, it really does make them more real. The next thing that I want you to do, and this is like one of my most, this is the thing that I find most fun. For a long time, I thought I was the only person that does this, but after being around the indie writer community, taking classes, talking to other writers, I realized a lot of writers do this. And so if you've never done this, this is going to be so much fun. Even for me, I don't even watch movies and TV hardly at all. Even for me, it is a blast. So I want you to close your eyes and picture your character. And then I want you to go online and find actors and people that look like your character. Here's your job today. You are a casting agent, and your job is to find out who are the actors in your movie. And you're going to take those pictures and save them and set them aside in a special folder labeled characters. And you can split them up so that you have a picture, at least one picture for each of your main characters. And what this does is, it's fun, but also it gives you something to picture in your mind. So as you're writing, you don't have a character that suddenly goes from having blue eyes to green eyes, or their hair color changes, or it's easier to picture their physical movements because you're able to picture them. So what I find a lot of times is when people write rough drafts, you'll see that they do a lot of stage directing, or you'll see that they have a lot of dialogue, but that's all they have. There's no movement. Like, the people aren't doing anything, they're just talking heads. And I think part of that is because you're not able to really picture the scene. And having an actor in mind helps you picture the scene. And what else is awesome is if you've watched movies with this actor in the past, if this is an actor you know well, you'll be able to picture their mannerisms and how they move. And those are things that you can use in your writing. So as they're having dialogue, you're like, oh yeah, Johnny Depp does this, so I'm gonna have him do that. And you'll be able to pick up on those little physical clues and insert those into, dialogue, and into like dialogue breaks and stuff. And it makes it seem more real, and it's a lot more fun. So for every single one of your major characters, I want you to go online and find actors, models, people that you think really resemble, have the mannerisms, encapsulate what you picture when you think of that character. And what you'll find is, once you have those pictures, your characters will feel a lot more vibrant to you. You'll be able to picture them in your head easier, and it's going to make further on down the line getting deeper into character development a little bit easier, because your subconscious mind has something to grasp onto. We are visual creatures, we are emotional creatures, we are tactile creatures, and we need to use all of our senses. And so right now, what I want you to do is to use your eyeballs and really just feed those eyeballs with information. So, what comes up tomorrow? Tomorrow is a really big day. I'm hoping to do the video tomorrow fairly early, because it's a big day as far as what we'll be working on with the summary. What we're going to be doing is expanding that one paragraph summary. And it's a big day, but it's a fun day. So get ready, hang on tight. We're going to get really deep into the meat of your stories. And let me know in the down bar how your preparation is going. Are these videos helping? Are you able to picture your characters a little bit more deeply? Are you getting excited about November? I know I'm getting really excited about November. I'm working on a secret project. I've been working on this outline for a while. It's not a great outline. And because it's a secret project, I haven't been able to talk to anybody about it. But I got a friend, I made her sign an NDA. We're going to sit down and go through my outline tomorrow. So I'm pretty stoked, and I'm getting super excited about November. On that note, ciao. I'll see you tomorrow.